What's up? Juno here. And for this video I want to talk about a show that I'm a huge fan of, and I have every single episode of every single version that's available at my disposal, because that's how much of a fan I am. And the show I want to talk about is Top Gear. Now, I've mentioned this before in videos, and if you follow me on Twitter, you know how much of a fan of the show I am. Whenever an episode airs, I get a rip of the show as soon as it's available, as soon as I can get my hands on it. But recently, the UK version has put out two specials. One was released on December 21st, 2010, and the second was released on December 26th, 2010. And for this video, I want to talk specifically about a certain outrage that has been voiced over the episode that was released on December 26th. And with that, the December 26th episode was a road trip through a bunch of different countries in the Middle East to try and retrace the steps of the three wise men that allegedly went to go visit the baby Jesus when he was born in Bethlehem, if you believe in that story. But if you have ever watched Top Gear, and chances are some people who watch my videos probably have, since it has an audience of over 350 million people who watch the show worldwide, and it's one of the top pirated shows, one of the top 10 pirated shows in the world. So let's get into the news story that had to deal with this, and I know that the source I'm going to use is not a legitimate news organization. They are more of a tabloid, but if it's to be believed, and if there are in fact people outraged over this, they really need to grow the fuck up. And it's dealing with a particular religious group, and I'm sure you can guess by now who the fuck I'm going to talk about even before I get to the story. But let's not dilly-dally any further. Let's get right into the article here. And the article is from the Daily Mail, or some people may refer to it as the Daily Fail, because a lot of the time they embellish their stories. So, the title of the story is Top Gear Stars Cause Religious Row After Dressing Up in Burqas on Boxing Day Special. Okay, so let's get right into it here. Jeremy Clarkson and his Top Gear co-stars have sparked religious outrage after dressing up in burqas on the Boxing Day Special. Clarkson and Richard Hammond decided to dress up in niqabs, a form of the burqa where everything but the eyes are covered, in order to disguise themselves on the road. They also got James May in on the act when they greeted him from the hospital after he fell and hit his head on rocks in the Syrian desert. So here we have Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond dressed up in the burqas. And there was a reason for this. The reason why they did this was to disguise their images, because they were having trouble going through towns and stuff without going by getting recognized. And their goal was to get into Israel. And if the Israeli government had known that they were in these particular Muslim countries, they would not be allowed to cross the border. So there was a reason for this. Okay, let's continue on with the article here. But their joke backfired when they were slammed by Muslims for mocking their religion. What a shocker! The Muslims are pissed off that they were dressed up in the burqas. Islamic extremist Anjem Chaudhary said, "The burqa is a symbol of our religion and people should not make jokes about it anyway." Well, I'm going to make a joke about it right now, or I'm going to mock it right now. It's fucking ridiculous to make women wear outfits like this because the men in your society or whatever can't contain themselves enough to look at a woman without wanting to instantly, I don't know, go and fuck her or whatever. That's just stupid. I can look at a woman wearing a bikini or wearing, you know, a sweatshirt and jeans, and really it's not that big of a deal. It would have been equally bad even if they had not been in a country mainly populated by Muslims. Really? What would have been equally bad about it? It's a comedy show in a way. Get over yourself. On the Boxing Day episode of the show, the trio were driving across the Middle East to follow the path of the three wise men. And here is another shot of Jeremy Clarkson wearing the burqa. There we go. And here's Richard Hammond, close up, wearing the burqa as well while driving. In the episode, which was watched by 6 million people, they drove specially customized sports cars to Bethlehem via Turkey, Syria, and Jordan. While in Syria, their cars got stuck in the sand, and as Clarkson was trying to tow Hammond out, May, who was holding onto the rope between the two cars, was knocked to the ground when it went taut, cutting open his head in the process. It's kind of irrelevant to this story, but anyway. With blood pouring from his head, he was taken to the hospital, and Clarkson and Hammond carried on when they had the idea to disguise themselves as women in burqas so not to be seen diverting from the sands of the desert to a road. And here's a picture of May on the ground. They then greeted May at the hospital, dressed head to toe in niqabs before hitting the road again. But their choice of attire caused a storm online, on Twitter, and other discussion sites. On a Yahoo forum, someone wrote, "Death to America." What? That doesn't make any fucking sense! This is a British fucking show! I don't get it! Anyway. Which another called Rebecca Liberty said mockingly, "Burqas is ugly." I agree, they are completely ugly. But a user called BusW spoke up for the show and said, "Why are so many people offended? It's just a piece of clothing. The burqa is not in the Quran at all. If people are so offended, why don't they switch over the TV?" Yeah, why wouldn't they? Just change the channel. You see, I don't understand that, and this has to do with any person who is overly offensive or offended by things they see on TV. How hard is it to change a channel? Or is it that you just can't stop watching it for some reason? You just like getting off to being offended or some shit. I don't really see what the big deal is. How hard is it to change it? If there's something I don't like on TV, I change the channel. See, it's not that hard. Some viewers also took to Twitter to blast the burqa stunt, with one saying, "This is probably the worst Top Gear special. Why the fuck are they wearing burqas? For comedic effect, and also so they could carry out what they went to the Middle East to do. And there was a certain reason for this." And here are the three presenters. Clarkson in the middle, Hammond on the left, May on the right. Another added, "Top Gear, the burqa joke wasn't funny. I found it to be hilarious." But one Twitter user came up to the show's defense and wrote, "Top Gear was one of the best bits of TV this Christmas. If you don't like it, turn it off." Again, how hard is that? Don't go on TV and moan about it. Last night, the BBC said it had not yet assessed viewer reaction, and a spokesperson for the show would not comment. This is not the first time Clarkson has caused a storm over a burqa. In July this year, he told Top Gear viewers that he had seen a Muslim woman wearing saucy underwear beneath her gown. Whoop-de-fucking-do! What is the big problem? And if you look here, here is a segment of the show, but I would recommend you watch the entire show just because it's fucking hilarious, and if you're a fan of Top Gear, it's great. You'll love it. I thought it was fantastic, and also I would recommend watching the December 21st show, because I thought that one was fucking excellent as well. But is anyone surprised here? Is anyone surprised that the Muslims are offended? Muslims have no humor, or they can't see humor in their own religion, and they are overly sensitive when anyone is out to critique their religion, and it's just fucking bullshit. It is. And anyone who gets offended by people critiquing your stupid fucking beliefs, get over yourself. Your religion does not deserve undue respect. It has to earn respect, and frankly, no religion deserves any sort of respect in my opinion. It doesn't demonstrate why it deserves it. You just expect it, which is fucking retarded. Sorry. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this to your attention because I found it to be hilarious, and what a shocker, the Muslims are getting offended over something so minor for comedic effect. Get over yourself. You wonder why people make fun of you? It's because you flip out for no fucking reason. Anyway, do your part. Blaspheme daily.